The JumpStart program is a unique partnership between Howard County Public Schools and Howard Community College that offers Howard County Public School students a unique opportunity to earn college credit while simultaneously completing their high school graduation requirements. Credit courses are offered at the student's home high school, the ARL, or on HCC's campus. If you think the JumpStart program is for you, you should first meet with your guidance counselor at your home school. They will help you determine which classes are still required for high school graduation and help you begin the application process. The first step in applying for the JumpStart program is to log into Synergy. There, click on JumpStart. Another window will appear with HCC application and JumpStart. Click on JumpStart in the JumpStart window. Here you will find critical documents that must be signed by you and your parent. The first document, the Statement of Understanding, is so that you and your parents understand that in order to be in compliance with the Federal Education Rights and Privacy Act, also known as FERPA, that your academic records are confidential and officers of HCC may only discuss them with you, the student, and your guidance counselor. The second is the tuition agreement, which is to make sure that you understand that you are responsible for the costs associated with obtaining college credits and that these costs differ per student based on their course selections. Lastly is the opt-in agreement, which outlines the agreement between Howard Community College and Howard County Public School System. Once you complete this process, you are ready to apply to HCC. Go back to the JumpStart window on the Synergy page. There you will find a link to apply to HCC. This link will take you directly to the HCC website. Here you will need to create an account. Select a program of study or major and the term you plan on starting your program. For example, Fall 2020. Also, make sure you select Yes for dual enrollment. If you are only planning to take dual enrollment eligible classes at your high school, you have completed the application process. If you are planning to register for classes at HCC, you can select courses by selecting the course selection link in the main navigation on the JumpStart page in Synergy. To complete the registration process, students must register for courses with HCC as well. At this point, email JumpStart at howardcc.edu so that we can finalize your application status, help you log into your MyHCC portal, and pair you up with your academic advisor at Howard Community College who will help you complete the registration process. There is a different process for students who are enrolled in public schools outside of Howard County Public Schools, or private schools, or homeschooled. If you are a student who's interested in attending Howard Community College while still working towards high school graduation, but are not a Howard County Public School student, please contact JumpStart at howardcc.edu for further information on how to apply for dual enrollment.
So a student that would like to apply can do that online. They would visit our webpage at howardcc.edu. So what I would do as a student is I would start with the admissions and aid tab on the web page. And then you can go ahead down here and click apply. And once you click apply, you're going to see there's a couple options here. And the first one you're going to want to do is just apply for credit programs. For those students who are brand new, they've never come to an information session and never had to use this system in the past, you're going to go ahead and just create an account. When you get to the create account page, you're going to also notice at the top we have sign in, which is for those students who, once you created your account, you'd be able to sign into this application account. We're going to create one right now. Okay, so I'm going to use Duncan, who is our mascot dragon. And we're going to see if he's in here or not. And we're going to use an email address. We're going to confirm that. And we're going to give Duncan a date of birth. And that's very important to answer these questions appropriately here below. Are you seeking F1 admission? That's typically for a student who resides overseas and is coming on a very special visa. So the answer would typically be no. Are you a current high school student? If you are, you could put yes. Duncan is not. Are you interested in playing a sport at HCC? Now remember, none of these answers, like the sport or the high school information, none of this is going to affect you in the outcome if something wasn't quite right when you did it, okay? So if you change your mind, you don't want to play sports later, it's okay. Don't worry about it. And then the final question, are you interested in nursing or allied health? Yes or no, okay? High school information, this can get a little tricky. If you went in the state of Maryland, or in Howard County rather, you're going to see your high school listed here. Duncan didn't happen to go to school in the county, so he's just going to put other out of state. Again, if your high school is not here, okay, which you're going to see there's a lot of options, but maybe your high school's not here, just unlisted school in Maryland, or maybe even it was an unlisted high school out of state, and that's fine. If it was unlisted, you could just put the school that was attended. He happened to go to Dragon Academy. His anticipated date of graduation, or when he graduated, 2018. Entry term's very important because it's an asterisk next to it. You have to put something. But again, if you change your mind and you're not interested after all in fall 2021, and you maybe put next summer, and you then come back and change it back to fall, it's okay. Don't worry about that. Just make sure you put an entry term in, okay? And an academic level, we want to put undergraduate if it's a credit application, okay? And then account, we do have to create a password, because remember, again, you're going to be able to go back into this account now that you have this profile done, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and create a password. And I'm going to create the account. Now at this stage, a lot of folks think that they're done with the application, okay? We did not apply to the college yet. All of that was the profile to make sure that you have a space in which you can now apply to the program. So you will actually use the Start a New HCC Application link. Now, when I was talking about events that you may have participated in the past, you'll also notice there's an event area where you could view upcoming events, and you're also going to have some information on your profile if that ever needs to be changed, okay? Our focus right now is we're going to go back to Start a New HCC Application. Right now, we're focusing on just a general application. Honors would be a specialty program, Silas Craft would be a specialty program, and F1 again is for those students who live overseas that are coming on a special visa. So the majority of the students here, we're looking at just Start a General Application. So I'm going to click on the first one. Again, it says, please note that the current term may not be available for F1 or honors applicants. This does not apply to us. We are general applicants right now, and we're starting in the summer. So you could select a different entry term, but again, this is not going to make or break whether you start the college now or later, okay? So we're just going to apply for the selected term. And now we have the actual application. So you're going to go ahead and fill out all of the information here. So in this case, it says academic pathway. You may or may not know your academic pathway right off the bat from the major that you choose. And again, that's okay. But if you have an idea, for example, I think Duncan wants to be a nurse. So Duncan's going to choose the health sciences, okay? And Duncan is planning to enroll as a part-time student because Duncan's pretty busy working as a mascot. The area of study now has been limited to what is available under the health sciences. So Duncan is going to go ahead and choose nursing. And did you attend another college or university? Yes or no? Duncan did take some classes when he was in high school at another college, so he's going to say yes. Educational goal, which is important. He wants an associate's degree because he's going to go for that RN. And then status, is Duncan currently attending another university, previously attended? You would just choose the appropriate response. So he'd previously attended another. Do you plan to apply for financial aid? Yes, Duncan's going to apply for financial aid. If you say no, it doesn't mean you can't change your mind at a later date. You can still change your mind. It's okay. Are you a current high school student? And I'm going to say no. Save and continue. Personal information. We have Duncan, Dragon. Anything that's an asterisk must be done. If it does not have an asterisk, you do not have to fill it out. There is information here for social security number, which does not have an asterisk right now. However, you may be asked at a later date to provide it if you plan on using any kind of financial aid, veterans assistance, state disability. So putting in your social security now may be helpful so that you don't get flagged later. So if you have that information, you could go ahead and put it in so that it's taken care of. Check if your address is out of the US or Canada. No. Street and number, address, and name must be included. You would want to use your home address and make sure it's your current home address. You're going to find your state. Now, this is the #1 mistake people make. They go, wait, my state's not here. There's no Maryland. It actually put it at the very beginning, thinking it would be the easiest because it's the first one that shows up. So you do have to look for it. And we'll put the zip code in. And the county is very important. Will you be a resident of Howard County for 3 or more months at the time of enrollment? This is important because it is a 3-month residency rule. So if you've lived in the county for 3 months, then you get the in-county tuition rate. Okay. Phone number must be included, address. Let's go ahead and save and continue. Saved, I continued. We have a few more questions that must be answered. Are you a US citizen? Yes or no? These are all optional. You can fill them out if you like. Do you have military or veteran affiliation? You'll want to make sure and fill that out. We do have a great support system at the college for veterans. You'll want to put your emergency contact in. You'll save and continue. There's a few more questions here you'll notice that have an asterisk. Again, these were questions at the very beginning, so the answer should populate. Here's one right here that it wasn't asked at the beginning, so you will want to make sure and you put the exact date of graduation. There's the area where you could put colleges attended. This is not critical because you're going to work with an advisor to make sure that you send any prior credit to the Office of Admissions and Advising and fill out the appropriate forms. So if it's not in here, you can't find the college, don't let this hold you back, okay? Just leave it blank, save and continue. And then the certification and signature, you're going to want to read the material to make sure that you answer appropriately, okay? The certification, again, you're going to want to read these. I understand that once my application's been submitted, it may not be altered. I certify all the information has been honestly presented, and I certify all the information has been completely presented. So once you are done with this certification and signature, you could go ahead and, I guess we want first name first, Dragon, the date, which is 7/24. You can preview before submission, which I highly recommend, and make sure that everything that you filled out is appropriate. Once you're done, you can submit your application, and there we have it. My applications. Now, what's important to note is that the application here is going to tell you which major you chose. As a nursing student, Duncan did not actually apply to the nursing program. That's a supplemental application. Most of these programs don't require another application, so this might be the only one. When you have questions about your major, you'll talk to an advisor in the future to make sure that you've covered that information. So the application has been submitted. There will be an email sent to the email that you used in your profile that you created. The email will tell you how to access your decision history tab, which will be in this view section right here. Usually takes a couple hours to populate. Once it populates, you'll go back in view. There'll be a decision history tab. Click on it. You'll have a letter in there, a welcome letter. It's going to have your information. It'll have your ID number at the bottom of the page. That ID number is what you're going to use to access your My HCC portal, where you can accomplish all of your registration, financial aid, payment, everything that you need to do for the college. You'll have access to that.